are going to be ranking all the MCU movies tier list. My first ever tier list. So, but before we get into this, I know I said I was gonna do the Marvel Heroes tier list. I couldn't find one with all the heroes in it. And then I was going to do rank the movies and shows. Then I decided not to because that would go too long because I tried filming it before and it went over 30 minutes and I'm trying to keep it under there. So hopefully you guys understand. But if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel because number one, it's absolutely free. And number two, we are on the road to 90 subscribers, just 7 away now. It would really help out your boy if you did subscribe. Don't forget, that's also goes for people that have been watching my channel for a while and haven't subscribed yet. Don't forget to like the video if you like tier lists, and we can do one of these every single week. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss notification when I upload. Also, do share the video because that would also help me out. And let's get right into the tier list, guys. So these are the categories I have. I have perfection, which means there's nothing wrong with it at all. Top goodness means it's good and it has minor flaws, but it is still good and consumable. Good but toxic flaws, which is, basically a lower version of toxic goodness. Okay means it's okay, and toxic trash is dumpster fire, which I know the MCU, I think I won't put any of those down there unless if they're really, really bad. Okay, so we're going to go chronological order here. So first one that came out was Iron Man. And I know it might be I'm going to put it in toxic goodness. I don't think it's as rewatchable as most of the other MCU movies on this list, but I do understand the greatness it kicked off the MCU. And every single time I watch it, it's good. I like it a lot, but I don't think it's near perfection there. And this is my list, so it's just my thoughts and whatever, okay? So, yeah. Then we got The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk is the black sheep of the MCU. Good, but flawed. I've actually watched this one more than Iron Man here. But I do see the flaws that they point out. The relationship between Betty and Bruce in this is kind of awkward and is kind of cringeworthy at sometimes. Edward Norton, it's weird seeing him as Hulk in this because we got obviously Mark Ruffalo playing the Hulk now in the MCU. So yeah, that's not really a flaw. It's just weird. Abomination, I feel as if they could have done better. There's certain plot points in here that they could have explored more, which some of them are, but some of them they haven't explored yet in the MCU in a long time, so there's that. And overall, I still think it's a fun time, so you should definitely give it a rewatch if you're one of the Incredible Hulkers. Next up, Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 is okay. Iron Man 2 is a weird movie because they keep on trying to converge a lot of different storylines together in this one movie, it just doesn't really work out. Justin Hammer I like in this. Sam Rockwell did a great job as him, and I think suited the character quite well. Don Cheadle was a great recast as Rhodey in this and became War Machine, so that was a good recast. Whiplash, I think, gets a little bit overhated, but I think he's a flawed character because he's kind of Justin Hammer's puppet in this. And that's all I can think. And it explores an interesting arc with Iron Man, so yeah. Thor. Put it in okay. I never really gravitated towards this as much as I did the other Phase 1 movies, but I do enjoy. Actually, I'm going to go toxic flaws. I thought that the movie was beautifully shot. Kenneth Branagh I thought was a unique directing choice for the time. I never knew that really, and they did a good job of picking him to direct it here. What other things can I think of? Loki gave us birth to Loki, which Tom Hiddleston as Loki is amazing. Chris Hemsworth as Thor is amazing too, and Thor and Jane Foster have pretty good chemistry. Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth, and this it's not perfect by any means, but they do have good chemistry. It's just one I never really gravitated towards. Captain America. I will put it like at the bottom of toxic goodness. Cap is a weird one because the movies get better as they go along, but the first Captain America I watched the most growing up as a kid, and the story is very unique and it's very great how they explore Captain America's origins, and the first part of the movie is great, and then in the final act, when he's facing Red Skull in the big, whatever the ship's called, it's like the big airplane boomerang thing. I thought it was a little bit mishandled, and the ending was a little bit of a downer note, which gave us a birth to Captain America in the MCU, so that's cool. The Perfection. This was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, I believe, when I was younger. So that's quite cool. And it was the first ever movie I saw it twice too. This movie basically had so many other people try to copy the same exact plot line and fail miserably. Joss Whedon's Justice League. Sorry, I had something in my throat. I can't speak. Yeah, this gave birth to that trope that many people try to recreate now. And all the interactions between all the different Avengers are great. And it gave birth to started the MCU if people didn't think Iron Man started the MCU. Speaking of Iron Man, we have his history and Toxic Goodness. I think it's one of the more overhated MCU movies. Yes, the man... Oops, I just knocked over a picture. Don't mind me, guys. But the Mandarin twist, yes, it is stupid because Ben Kingsley did act a great job as the Mandarin. It was kind of a lackluster twist, to say the least. And that's the only flaw I really have with it. The rest of it I really enjoy. I like how they explore Tony Stark without the Iron Man suit and trying to get it back. And trying to get back to the Pepper before she gets killed by the hot people, I guess that's what you would call them. Don't take that out of context, please. But Aldrich Killian is a generic villain, but I like the Fire People, so that's why it's going there. Then we have, I'm gonna put it in okay at the bottom. I don't love Thor: The Dark World. I think I like them exploring the dynamic between Loki and Thor, the brother relationship here, but it is a generic MCU movie. I do agree with that, and that's all I can say. Malekith, they explore better in the comics. That's all I'm saying. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, easily perfection for me. Great little spy movie too, if you're into that sort of thing. And I think it's one of the darker MCU movies, which I dig. Put in perfection. Great MCU movie. Nobody thought this was going to become great, and it became even better than great. It's definitely a top 5 MCU movie, and I love Guardians to death. And that was the first movie I was really excited for to see in the MCU. So yeah, there's I'll put it at good but flawed. I would put it at the top of good, but same thing with Iron Man 2. They tried to add way too many things in here, I think. They added way too many characters with Vision, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch, and they just waste the character of Quicksilver. But James Spader as Ultron is very menacing in the role, and I dig that quite a bit. The Avengers still have it from the first movie. That was good. The lighting in this is another mixed I have. The lighting is sometimes very dark, and I can't see anything, literally, so... But, yeah, and I like how this kind of caused the Avengers to break up. I thought that was cool. Well, it was leading down that road. And another movie many thought were going to be bad, put it in good, actually toxic goodness. This was a small-scale movie, pun intended, compared to the other MCU movies, and actually performed quite well. And when I heard originally that they weren't going to have Hank Pym as the Ant-Man, I didn't know about the Scott Lang storyline, so I was going like, no, Hank Pym's the best part of Ant-Man, what are you doing? And then I finally watched the movie, and I loved Scott Lang as Ant-Man, so, yep. Next, we got Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange as Brendan Gleeson, and a good guy, but I'm going to I will put it right next to Avengers Age of Ultron. The problem here is I didn't like Caecilius as a villain. I thought he was the most generic out of the bunch, besides another one we'll get to in a little bit. But the Benedict Cumberbatch was a great casting choice as Doctor Strange, and I like this movie quite a bit. Captain America was easily perfection for me. If you grew up probably once and if you had superhero action figures, you would always make them fight against each other. This is what they do. That's what they do here, and it's a child's dream come to life, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, it's really, really, really good. So, I like that quite a bit. And it introduces Tom Holland as Spider-Man, which is another positive. And Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, too. That was another good thing. So I would say this. It's not near perfection for me. I think there's something up with it that I can't put my finger on, but it's not going into perfection for. I don't know what it is. But I thought the character development was better in this one than the first one, especially with Yondu here, easily a standout of the cast here. What other stuff can I think of? Ego as the villain was decent. I liked Kurt Russell as him, and that was funny. And there's a bunch of funny jokes in this one. And this one had the better soundtrack compared to the first one, I think. I still love the first one's soundtrack though, so yeah, that's immediate positive for me. Spider-Homecoming. I will be at top toxic goodness now. Vulture as the villain was amazing. Michael Keaton rocked that role, and I liked how it explored a younger Peter Parker. Well, I mean, all movies do, but I liked how they did it with Tom Holland, and that was cool. And I liked how they sprinkled in Iron Man in here, and yeah. The why it's not perfection is I thought Shocker was a little bit mediocre. I don't know what all of you guys think, but I thought he was a little bit mediocre. It's good. I like it quite a bit. The Eternal, I will put in good, but flawed. When I watched the movie originally, I did not like it. Now I've kind of sort of warmed up to it. I think it's too long, and it should have been a TV series instead, but besides from that, I enjoyed this quite a bit. It's not as well as those, but it's still good. Most of the Eternals are cool, especially Icarus and the Druid, and I forgot what the Speed Girl's name was, but she's cool in this too. But all the rest of them are kind of and the one I forgot, the Bollywood star, but all the rest of them are kind of mediocre. So, yeah, and the villain was kind of so, yeah, that's my with Thor Ragnarok. Now takes the top spot for toxic goodness. This movie I saw 3 times? It was 3 or 2 times, and I love this one. This is easily the best out of the Thor quadrilogy, and it focuses on Hulk, too, which I enjoy a lot. It's the first time he's got to shine since his original Hulk movie, and It further explores Loki and Thor's brother dynamic, and Hela as a villain I thought was quite cool. Then we got Black Panther. I think some people would say I'm going to put it at the bottom. Eric Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, is one of the best MCU villains perhaps, but besides from that, it's kind of a generic MCU movie. I'm sorry. It has good side characters, and of course Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther killed that role, rest in peace. Shuri is a great side character, Okoye is a great side character, and yeah, but besides from that, the CGI is sometimes very bad, and the story can be generic at times. It's basically the MCU version of The Lion King, but it's really easily top tier. This movie did us all in the theaters. After that ending, probably from the car ride, from exiting the theater to the car ride home, we were all just speechless, probably. Because this decided to pull the rug from underneath us and have one of the most speechless endings in an MCU movie. So, yeah. And I was originally going to put the flaw as it explores way too many storylines, but no, it doesn't. And that it wouldn't have made sense if they explored all those separate, side missions in there, if that makes sense. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm putting good flawed. I like how they keep it going with the smaller scale MCU movies. It doesn't do anything too drastic. But the villains are okay, I guess, but it's just an okay movie. I like it a lot, though, and it has some funny charm bits in there. That's why it doesn't go in okay. Captain Marvel, okay. I'm gonna put at the bottom of... I'll put Captain Marvel above Thor: The Dark World. I like how we explore younger Nick Fury. That's some positive there. And Brie Larson as Captain Marvel was good, too. I'm not a Brie Larson hater, that's not why I put it there, but it's just a generic movie, Marvel Cinematic Universe movie again, so yeah, nothing really to write home about. But I still think it has a ton of rewatch value, though. Avengers, top of the list right here. Great movie, no questions asked. Great finale to the Infinity Saga. Well, actually, yeah, it is. It is a great finale to the Infinity Saga, and all the characters in this do their part, and I like how they made Ant-Man come up with the idea to stop Thanos. Spider-Man, toxic goodness. Mysterio as a villain, Jake Gyllenhaal does a great performance, and I think the character gets too much hate. I like how he explores Spider-Man outside of New York City. Some of the CGI is actually quite good in this with the molten monsters. I like that quite a bit, and what other stuff can I think of? I like how it explores the relationship between MJ and Peter instead of Liz and Peter. Black, I would at the bottom of okay. The one problem I have is the Taskmaster twist, the stupid CGI, and the villain is utterly one of the most forgettable ones out there. But it does have some positives, though, with the Red Guardian in this, and Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh, were great additions to the new cast and great additions to the MCU. But besides from that, I don't really enjoy it. Shang-Chi, I'm putting it in talking good. I hope we get a sequel to this, because the Mandarin is a top 10 MCU villain in here. And I like how it kind of breaks down the flaws with Iron Man 3, which Iron Man 3 with Shang-Chi above it. And yeah, it's just a really great. Spider-Man No Way Home, easily perfect as well. If Avengers was great for Marvel fans, Spider-Man No Way Home was great for Spider-Man fans in general, even though if you're not a big fan of the Marvel movies. And yeah, it was just a great conclusion to the Spider-Man franchise. Well, apparently we're getting a fourth one, so it's not really a conclusion, but I still enjoyed that quite a bit. Multiverse, good but flawed. I felt like the Doctor Strange movies are equal for me. I do enjoy the horror-inspired bits in here, and the CGI is still great, and Wanda Scarlet Witch as a villain was a great choice, and you kind of sympathize with her. But besides from that, nothing really to write home about. America Chavez was a good character, though. Okay, I think this is the only crash. Thor: Love and Thunder. The only positive I can give it is it exploring the Jane Foster storyline. But besides from that, I did not like this movie one bit. The ending, it was so stupid. Christian Bale's talent was wasted here. He acted good as Gore the God Butcher, but let's all agree he was in the wrong movie here. The kids, Thor sharing the electricity with kids was a little bit of a mess, and it had way too many jokes in it. It was painfully funny. Wakanda Forever. I also, goodness, I enjoyed this way more than the first Black Panther. A little bit too long, though. A little bit too long. And Namor, I like as a villain equally as Eric Killmonger in the first Black Panther. And it does a great job of exploring the tragic death of Chadwick Boseman / T'Challa Black Panther. So, yeah. And then we move on to the movies that came out this year. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That's my favorite out of the Ant-Man trilogy. Kang the Conqueror in here, Jonathan Majors as him, did a great job of being menacing and also being sympathetic at the exact same time. Some of the CGI is hit or miss. I think some of it is good and some of it is not so good. And the only flaw I really have is the relationship between Scott and Cassie in this. That's the only really flaw I have. But then we got the new dog. If you remember what's going, it's going to the top of the list. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was a perfect conclusion to the Guardians franchise, and yeah, it was just amazing. And all the characters get even further character development, and yeah. Well, that is my tier list, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this tier list. Sorry about this again, that I couldn't do an MCU Heroes tier list. There's not really a tier list out with all the MCU heroes yet, so hopefully you guys understand. But before we get into the actual video, don't forget to subscribe, because number 1, it's absolutely free. Number 2, we're on the road to 90 subscribers, just 7 away now. It would really help out your boy if you did subscribe. Don't forget to like the video if you like tier lists, and we can do them every single week. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss notification when we upload. Also, do share the video, because that would also help me out, and feel free to comment as well. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next one, everybody.